Now, when it comes to Pusha T and Travis Scott, well, if you are ready to see how the latest beef that has emerged in hip hop just got a lot more interesting, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And now, really, as what we are starting to hear in terms of the rumblings of what can be going on around Travis Scott, it really could make this entire beef a much bigger thing than we could have ever expected. Make sure to leave that like so all of hip hop can see what is coming next. And now, with that said, well, right now with Travis Scott and Pusha T, this beef is starting to pick up and get interesting because on one hand, while Pusha T is just winning over everything in hip-hop, and now after already establishing his place in this beef with a really good song and a really powerful diss, he is now taking things even further and taunting Travis Scott for everyone to see. Well, now seemingly alongside Push just trying to continue to hold things down and show everybody in rap that he can put any MC's career in absolute trouble. Well, now after there have been some questions about how Travis Scott is going to handle this and how he will move forward from here, with what is starting to come out from some of the leaders of the Houston hip-hop scene and people who have ended up becoming mentors for Travis Scott and are just near his circle in general, is starting to tell us that Travis is indeed going to respond to this thing, and at that, well, according to some, they say that they wouldn't be surprised if they heard something from Travis Scott by the weekend. And now before we go any further into this and what this actually could mean, be sure to leave that like if you have not already. And now with that said, when it comes to how Travis may actually try to do something that Drake and so many others have failed to do, which is just to take on Pusha T within a rap beef, well now, while just saying those words sound wild to hear, and just thinking about the idea of Travis even trying to compete with one of the best lyricists, not just in rap right now, but really of all time, sounds absolutely ludicrous. Well, even with all of this, Travis is seemingly about to be trying something, and again for Pusha T, as beyond the initial diss and clear explanation he gave everyone to show why he does not respect Travis Scott and why he is doing all this in the first place, well now after calling out what really is one of the worst behaviors that has existed in all of hip-hop, Push is continuing to stay on Travis and just mess with him in more ways than we could have ever expected. And if Travis does not step in soon, things are really gonna get terrible, because in another interview that Push has done for the new Clipse record, the new disses that he just said about Travis did not stop by him saying that he doesn't like rappers who can't rap and thinks that people like Travis should stay out of respected MC's actual doings. But in addition to this, Push did something even more disrespectful than calling Travis a fake MC, because with what else he did was post a picture on his story of Alexander AE, who, for those who don't know, is a close friend of Tyga and who is the guy who ended up messing up Travis when him and his team got into it with Tyga's team. And now before we go any further into how this troll and just the way Travis been challenged and almost turned on by the rap game already may be causing us to get this response very soon, because again, Push just definitely took things to an entire other level here. Well now, as Push just decided to make his next move by trolling on his story, there is a lot of fake and performative outrage that is trying to say that now Push is doing what Drake did during the beef with Kendrick Lamar, and because of this, he should be taken as a joke, or it is just showing that there is this double standard for Drake and just what the difference is here. And honestly, why Pusha doing this is probably only adding to the stakes more to this Travis Scott beef, and why what Drake did is still lame, is that Drake had no music or anything to back up the trolling and focused more on the games than the actual diss tracks, as we all ended up seeing. And of course he was even called out for this. And to be honest, with Push just going this way, again, as there actually is music to back things up, it is truly showing how for somebody of his stature and skill level, he truly wants to prove something here once and for all about Travis Scott. And who knows, maybe Travis is walking into a lyrical trap. But now, outside of Pusha T just continuing to double and triple down on everything he is saying about Travis Scott and what this could all end up amounting to if this thing goes any further, well now, when it comes to how Travis Scott may be responding to this thing and what could be happening on his end, well, there are two major things that are hinting to the fact that he will be doing something, and at that very soon. And now the first thing that has just started to show a little bit that Travis is not backing down happened to come in an interview from Shannon Sharpe, where for some reason Houston rap legend and UGK member Bun B was talking to the guy on his show. And now when the guy who's got some weird things going on himself asked Bun B about this beef between Push and Travis Scott, well, Bun B said about the most important and defining rapper of Houston, really aside from what he did with UGK, is that, and I quote, "Travis ain't about to back down. He's from Houston. I wouldn't be surprised if you hear something before the weekend. And now what Bun B continued to say is that Travis either has to go into this thing or act like it didn't happen, but ultimately what Bun explained about somebody who, in terms of the rap lineage they are from, he passed the torch to, is that for Travis, he's absolutely not going to allow his public perception to be played with like that, and now with this. While this is by no means confirming anything, just by Bun B saying this and putting it out there. Well, in addition to what Pusha T already did and everything else in terms of how the rap game has reacted to this, well, now there is one more reason for Travis Scott to respond in of itself, which again, as the guy who paved the way for his rap career in a lot of ways pretty much said that this is something that he doesn't just want to do, but has to. It's putting Travis Scott in a further position where no matter what, he is gonna have to do something about this, and now to be honest, while of course Travis Scott can't rap anywhere near Pusha T's level, and as a result of this, even if he does do something, getting any sort of diss track out may seem like it's not going to happen anytime soon. Well, to be honest, while a diss track and Travis really trying to bar out Push may just be something that won't happen, at least not this quick, because I don't think Travis nor anybody left on his team can prepare for such a big moment in just a matter of days, I do think that we are going to get a response in a way from Travis Scott this very weekend, and at that, well now while Push's strong suit is just giving you the coldest bars you possibly could, what Travis is going to do is seemingly try and counter what Push just did by putting things within a place where he is best fitted and at the very least can at least do something. And now what I am referring to is none other than performing, and now specifically what we can almost say with certainty will be the first thing that Travis Scott does since Pusha T has just started this beef with him is not release a diss track or anything like that, but it's going to be to make a surprise appearance at the upcoming Lyrical Lemonade Summer Smash Festival. And now with all 3 nights that one of the biggest hip-hop festivals of the year will be going down on, well, whether Travis wants to support his own Cactus Jack crew with Don Toliver on the first night, which considering a lot of the criticisms he has been getting would be the best and most natural way to try and start and reshape the narrative around him, or he wants to come out on nights 2 or 3 where Future is headlining one night and then the return of Young Thug to the stage is the next, really when we look at all of this with any of these 3 nights, which again feature the biggest star Travis has on his roster and then 2 of his closest friends and collaborators in the entire industry, you could say. Well, what I would say is that based on the way these festivals go, and especially for these rappers within his circle, with how much a lot of these names rely on special guests and bringing out other names to try and make up for what is their otherwise lackluster running around on stage while pre-recorded vocals play and nothing else really happens. I mean, as we have already seen, Travis has done such things recently as come out for Playboi Carti's opening set at the Weeknd's tour, and he has been known to be a special guest at a lot of these major festivals in the past in general. Well, I think that out of all these rappers that these people could bring out, there is nobody that makes more sense for all 3 of these names really than Travis Scott. And so with this, what we can say is that if Travis ends up being here and going alongside any of these 3 rappers to perform, well, I guess he can at least make a public appearance and send a message in this time where rap is starting to turn on him that is just going to let people know that he is still here, and no matter what else you want to say, he can move a crowd in a way that only few others can do better right now. But to be honest, no matter what Travis really ends up doing here, all it's going to do is just give him more time to avoid the inevitable, which is that within a real way, which is going to be by going in the booth and making music. He will eventually have to face Pusha T if he wants to win this thing or make any sort of a statement and actually address these comments to some extent, because while he will hype up his fan base by coming out here and I guess just shake things up a little in the rap game as a whole, I mean, depending on what actually goes down, if Travis comes out with somebody like Future once again, you could also say that in a lot of ways he will only be proving Pusha T's points to be even more true, and with this, I think what everyone needs to understand is that even if Travis comes out at Summer Smash and the optics of it all look great, at the end of the day, this is only just going to be a distraction and something that will only stall for him what really will need to be a commanding moment in the long run. And as of course Travis will have to work within a bag at something he has never really done, well still, no matter what Travis does, I truly don't know how he can move past this unless he of course tries to just respond by releasing a massive song that is less about being a diss and more about being an anthem that is just going to overshadow things, or just maybe he tries to go album for album with Push and Clipse and try to make the better LP. But either way, it really just seems like Travis is going to have a tough time to take in stride the criticism that Pusha T has given him and move past it in any way that will be meaningful. And while truly with this being where we are at, now while we may hear from Travis Scott very soon and the hype of seeing him on stage as a special guest in front of a big crowd may satisfy some and just try to push back on all of the disses that have been thrown his way, At the end of this all, with what Pusha T is doing, which is leaving legitimate criticisms ingrained in an album that is going to be crafted to stand the test of time. Well, no matter what, unless Travis Scott can find a way to get in the booth and do something respectable at the very least, and ultimately avoid whatever bigger plan Pusha T clearly has, which I don't even know if that's possible anymore, well then even with Travis trying to get hold of things quickly at Summer Smash, if this ends up being the case, really just for moving the way he has and finally getting called out like we are seeing, no matter what ends up going on now, it really just may all be too late, because truly, do you really think he can stop Pusha T moving at the level he is right now? And so now with all of this said, let me know. What do you think about what's going on as this Pusha T and Travis Scott beef is clearly continuing, and with another major moment in hip-hop expected to come very soon on Travis's end, what do you think this is going to end up doing for this beef, and how do you think it's going to end up affecting things overall? Now obviously, as Travis Scott is not a lyricist and can't really compete with Push there, do you think there is any way he can win this thing just by releasing a massive song, making some other sort of moment, or just making a statement in general, or do you think he is going to lose this thing unless he can somehow make a respectable diss track that will at least scare the rest of the competition trying to come at him? And now if you made it to this point in the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, it helps me out a ton. And now if you want to see how right before this, well, from Tyler the Creator to A$AP Rocky to a lot more rappers, we are seeing just how many people don't like Travis Scott and how they are supporting Pusha T's diss, which again may be really bad for Travis in the future, check out the suggested video.